Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I'm out here today with a semi-automatic SAR-80. This is essentially the most simplified version of the AR-18 that you can get. This is a rifle that was designed actually by Sterling. So SAR-80 is actually marked here on the gun, Sterling Assault Rifle, but also sometimes taken to mean Singapore assault rifle, because they're the ones who actually manufactured it. Anyway, it was designed by a guy named Frank Waters at Sterling in the 1960s. Sterling never actually put it into production because they ended up getting a license to make the AR-18, like the actual real AR-18 instead, and so they kind of just put this on a shelf. This is super simplified, like I said, so that anybody could make it in the simplest of factory machinery. Well, CIS, Chartered Industries of Singapore, is set up in the late 1960s to manufacture small arms in Singapore. They start by, well, they make a number of things, but they want to license something for specific domestic Singaporean production for their own military use and for export. And they end up in 1977 buying a license from Sterling for the SAR-80. It goes into production in 1978. The Singaporean Army adopts this in 1981. And then they end up making a total by 1988 of about 80,000 of these. They sell them to Singapore, to Taiwan, to Papua New Guinea, to the Central African Republic, and to Slovenia. I actually did a video a couple years ago on a Slovenian example of one of these. Today, we're back here in the US because we had a batch of parts kits come in for these a number of years ago, and I had a parts kit for a while, never got around to doing anything with it. Decided I really just wanted to have one of the rifles, and so I went to TTE Precision Metalwerks, who has a small batch of these that they have rebuilt from parts kits into fully functional semi-auto rifles. At least I assume they're fully functional. I have not had a chance to shoot this yet, but that's what we are out here at the range doing today. So this uses standard AR mags, standard 5.56. Let's put a few rounds through it, see how it shoots. That's a good start. Semi. That shoots exactly like you expect a decent little 5.56 carbine to shoot. Very pleasant, easy to shoot, no malfunctions, which is nice. Magazines are a little sticky in there, but that's part of the SAR-80 design, I think. There are a couple of different versions of this gun. There's an early pattern and a later pattern. This is actually a transitional one, so it has some features from both. This is the early style of rear sight. The later rear sights were shortened up a bit. This has its markings on both the upper receiver here and also on the lower receiver right there. So SAR-80 here, Sterling assault rifle on the other side. It's got this very distinctive black crackle paint finish from Sterling. That comes from the Sterling submachine guns and was used here as a cheap but very protective surface finish for the receiver parts. This one has a piece of Picatinny rail on it from TTE. That is not historically correct. I've seen a couple of these that actually had rails for British SUSAT optics, which is fascinating. But the general standard configuration is just a plain unadorned upper. These were meant to use iron sights. These kind of predate the era of optics on everything, but TTE offers Picatinny rail, which makes it, of course, much easier to use modern optics, etc., etc. Let me do a quick teardown here for you, just to show you how ridiculously simplified this thing is. I've got two push pins in the lower. These are tight, but I only need to take out the rear one. There we go. Pin comes out, gun pivot open, and you will notice there is a little pin thing there that takes a cartridge. I push this plunger in, the recoil springs come out, dual recoil springs just like an AR-180. Bolt handle, bolt, that's it. You can take out the gas system up here. It's a short stroke AR-180 style gas system, but stamped upper, stamped lower, like the AR-180 was a pretty economical gun to manufacture to begin with, and the SAR-80 just cranked that up to 11. So really a no frills kind of gun. Slot that back into its guide rails there, which are a little loosey-goosey in this design. Drop the carry handle, or the charging handle back in. To make sure the bolt's all the way forward. There we go. There we go. Pin back in. Ready to go. Also, by the way, we do have a sliding dust cover. Don't slide it too far back, but that can go up to there to close off this open gap, and when you fire, it automatically opens it. This is the very, very no-frills 5.56 rifle. There is a little bit of grease still in there that's burning off when it gets toasty. In theory, this locks open on empty mags. But I think it's still a little bit too greasy and the bolt's not quite going down all the way. There you go. That is the Singapore SAR-80. If you're looking for a, if it's 1982 and you're looking for the cheapest, most effective but basic bare bones 5.56 military rifle you can find, this is a pretty solid contender. And if you're looking for a neat and unusual historical piece today, like Cold War, late Cold War historical, these are pretty cool. There aren't a ton of them around, but TTE made a nice one. So full disclosure, I paid for this with my own money. It's just, I really like seeing companies that are willing to put the time in to make nice, complete guns out of some obscure parts kits. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.